各位朋友，大家好！今天是川普执政100天，川普在白宫开了记者会。那么这个记者会的内容很长，川普讲了很久，讲了2个多小时，我不可能把它全部翻译给大家。当中呢，我找了2个比较重要的重点翻译给大家。那么大家看完之后呢，我再跟大家讲我对川普这2点的描述呢有什么评论。
We've just completed what many are saying is the most successful. What was that noise? That's all right. We've just completed what many consider to be the most successful first 100 days of any administration in the history of our country, and we're just getting started. Things are happening that are amazing, and I would not say it if it weren't fact. In a few short weeks, we've achieved the most secure border in American history by far. 99.9%, which is a number that nobody thought was doable. Biden thought you had to go back to the legislature to get legislation passed in order to create a secure border. You didn't. You just had to have the right president and the right people working it. Congratulations, by the way, and to Tom. For 2 months in a row, we have set the all-time records for the lowest number of illegal border crossings ever recorded. The number of illegal border crossers released into the United States is down 99.999%. That is usually 100%. So I think it's an amazing tribute. And Christy, congratulations, and Tom and everybody else. It's an amazing job, actually. And it was done very quickly. We officially designated Tren de Aragua, MS-13, and the Mexican drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and we're expelling these monsters from our country rapidly and working with the Department of Justice. Pam, you're doing fantastic. Your people are amazing. We're having some judge problems. Everybody's reading. We're having some judges that don't like, killers, murderers being thrown out of the country. So I don't know what their problem is, but we have little difficulty. We won on the basis of a great border and of getting criminals out of our country. That was why we won every swing state. We won by millions of votes. We won everything. Every metric we won by a lot. It was a massive victory, and we won, I think, largely because of this issue. I put this issue as #1 issue, and they don't want us to do what we're supposed to do, and I don't think that can be, and I hope the Supreme Court is going to fully understand what's going on. We have to get the criminals out of our country, and that's the basis under which we won the election. Core GDP, and this is, you probably saw some numbers today, and I have to start off by saying that's Biden. That's not Trump, because we came in on January, this is quarterly numbers, and we came in and I was very against everything that Biden was doing in terms of the economy, destroying our country in so many ways, not only at the border was more obvious, but we took over his mess in so many different ways. Core GDP, removing distortions from imports, inventories, and government spending, was up plus 3% when you add it. We had numbers that, despite what we were handed, we turned them around, and we were getting them really turned around. Gross domestic investment was a whopping 22%. Now, that is a number that people are coming in at numbers. For instance, I just walked in, I heard Samsung is now, because of the tariffs, they're going to build massive facilities in the United States. If we didn't do the tariffs, they wouldn't be doing that. So it takes a little while to get those facilities built, but they're coming in with big numbers. They're all coming in with big numbers. We have more money being spent than at any time in the history of our country. We're up to close to $8 trillion, I think I can say. And really, it's going to be a lot higher than that. Those are just the ones that we know about. 8 trillion. I'm not going to say, but I'm not sure if Biden did $1 trillion for 4 years, 1 trillion. But we're at 8 trillion for 2 months, because let's give us a pass on the first month. We were sort of getting a little bit used to things, right? But after 2 months, we have $8 trillion. There's never been a number like that. And that includes chip companies, car companies, every form of manufacturing, high-tech companies. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. So $8 trillion. I can talk about gross domestic product, gross domestic investment. I can talk about a lot of things, but to me, the biggest numbers, the kind of numbers that are, and these people are coming in our Secretary of Commerce spent the weekend. He went down to Arizona to see what was happening with the biggest chip company in the world. And he said, Howard, you said you've never seen anything like it. You want to just describe what you saw?
So they're investing $165 billion in 1,100 acres in Arizona, and they're building the highest tech chip manufacturing, semiconductors, and 4,000 employees. You know, American tradecraft, right? Technicians doing every kind of work. The classic foundation of America is building it. They had 14,000 people. They're expecting 40,000 people to build the rest of their plants and to employ 20,000 people for the rest of the time. And this is all driven.
You never saw a site like that.
And this is all driven by your tariff policies. No chance this be happening without you.
It's going to be about 40% of the chip market from that one section. And this is the biggest chip maker. They have 99% of the market. They come from Taiwan. And unlike the CHIP Act, which was done by Biden, where they hand everybody billions of dollars, the thing they don't need is money. They got plenty of money. What they need is an incentive to come in. And the tariffs, they're building because of the tariffs. Without the tariffs, and I'd like to say they're building because of November 5th, the election, and the tariffs, but I'm going to be a little more blunt. They're building because of the tariffs, and November 5th gave them the tariffs. So it's amazing when you look. And these are not companies that go out and say, well, we're going to build, we have to go get our financing. Let's go. Like we would, in New York, everybody would look, you know, you'd get a building site, and then you'd look around for money, you'd look around for financing for 6 months, you'd get your financing, you'd build your building, the market would be good, you'd make money, the market would be bad, it wouldn't be so pretty, you'd have to negotiate, blah, blah, blah. This is different. These people have so much money, they don't know what to do. I asked Howard, did they finance it? No, they do it through cash. And they say that site, and they just started, you know, they just announced it like a month ago, and they've already started. He said, I've never seen a site like it, so big. So, you know, you're talking about essentially a $50 billion building. Now, if you build a warehouse for $50 million, that's a big warehouse, Scott. But a $50 billion building, that's reports. We took over on January 20th. The tariffs haven't kicked in yet. I know that, and I don't want this to happen, but I know that China is doing very poorly right now. I just saw some reports coming out, and I don't want that to happen to China. I like the president a lot, President Xi. I don't want it to happen. I was actually saddened to hear it, but they are getting absolutely hammered in China. And, you know, they're sending boats, the biggest boats in the world, carrying cargo like nobody's ever seen before. These are the biggest boats in the world, biggest cargo ships in the world, and they're coming and they're turning around in the Pacific Ocean. They're doing a big U-turn and going back because they don't want the goods because 145% tariff. But at a certain point, I hope we're going to make a deal with China. We're talking to China, but their factories are closing all over China because we're not taking their product. We don't want their product unless they're going to be fair with us. And that includes intellectual property and other things. There are a lot of things far beyond just buy, sell. So we'll see what happens. But, you know, I was not, because somebody said, well, were you happy? I said, I am not happy. I want China to do well. I want every country to do well. But they have to treat us fairly also. So with that, I think we're going to maybe go around and we have some letters where...
好，大家看完川普在白宫记者会上的一些片段，我想川普在这两个片段当中讲了两个我认为很感兴趣的问题。第一个就是台积电，因为他讲到商务部长罗特尼克刚刚从亚利桑那州回来，那么川普让他介绍一下你在那里看到了什么。罗特尼克讲的信息呢，就是他们在那里正在开发，而川普在接下来讲的一个非常重要的信息是什么呢？就是未来在这里会产生40%的晶片的供应量。川普之前说，台积电在台湾的工厂供应了全世界90%的晶片，而我相信川普说的这里的40%，它并不是指台积电过去在台湾生产所有产量的40%，关键这里是最先进的晶片，台积电会在这里生产，那么它可能会占整个市场的40%。未来国与国之间的竞争 ，AI 非常重要，而AI 的发展呢，取决于晶片，所以台积电在美国这个新厂，包括以后要扩建的厂呢，我相信重点在于最新的、最高科技的晶片。所以，川普说未来这里会产生这一类晶片40%，这第一个。第二个呢， 川普也提到了，如果没有关税政策，那么台积电是不会来美国办厂的。这确实讲了一个大实话。川普的特点就讲大实话，我不拿关税来压制你，你怎么可能愿意来美国办这个相关的企业呢？他还提到了拜登的晶片法案。晶片法案他说就是大家发钱，发完钱之后能够做出什么呢？没有人知道。所以他认为这些企业根本不缺钱。对啊，你像台积电每年赚多少钱，他缺钱吗？他缺的是生意的机会。好，川普现在告诉你，你只要来这里设厂，你所生产的所有产品，美国一定会买。第二，你可以避免关税。这就是台积电或者类似这种企业为什么愿意来美国投资的一个巨大的动力。美国的制造业是不可能再空洞化的。如果将来美国的制造业不能够把一些关键的产业链抓在自己的手里的话，这对美国的未来，特别是跟中国的竞争，是处在一个非常危险的地步。如果美国的制造业不回到美国，最大的可能性是什么呢？将来美中两国发生激烈冲突的时候，美国人突然发现他们无药可吃。他们去医院看病，医生开了药没有？为什么？药都是在中国生产的。所以像晶片啊、药品啊这些企业呢，川普一定会用尽一切办法让它回到美国。那么因为美中之间的关税战越来越激烈，那么现在川普被问到有关对中国的145%的关税的时候呢，那川普说，我所看到的资料，好像这个话也是财政部长贝森特也讲，我看到资料，中国的经济呢如何惨。我问了一个很关键的问题，你开心吗？如果是这句话放在中国小粉红的这个角度让他们回答的话，如果美国像川普所描述的，像今天中国这么惨，小粉红会开心吗？小粉红会很开心，因为很多中国朋友不知道，美中之间现在出现的这种竞争、这种对立、这种对抗，原因是什么？就是美国看到了中国要取代它在国际上的领导地位。美中之间表面上看是经贸冲突、关税冲突，其实就是一个谁在国际上具有领导地位的冲突。但是在这种情况下，如果美国出现了一些灾难事故，包括我们说美国出现了一些自然灾害，我们都会看到中国的小粉红，很多人在网上一片欢呼。美国如果出了悲惨的事情，中国人会很开心。而川普在这个场合，你看他的回答，对，我们应该承认，中国今天如果经济出现任何问题，就是川普造成的。但是当记者问川普，你看到经济的数据，中国的经济数据这么惨，你开心吗？川普说，我不开心，我想让全世界大家都好。你认为川普是虚伪吗？我认为不是，因为在川普看来，我对中国的要求就是公平贸易。如果你连公平贸易都做不到的话，那么我就要用方法来制约你，来跟你竞争。中国在跟美国之间的经贸发展过程当中，有没有一些不公平的贸易呢？那我想这个大家有不同的角度，但是最起码美国没有在任何领域之前呢，我说在关税战之前呢，没有在任何领域限制中国的投资。现在有，因为中国一直限制美国的投资。所以川普讲到这个跟中国的关税战，并不是中国的经济有多惨，川普会很高兴。我们一定要知道，把中国的经济搞得很惨是手段，最终目的是希望中国能够跟美国公平的贸易。当然，这不是一句话能够随随便便讲完就可以做到的，因为美中之间政治制度不一样，经济制度不一样，文化不一样，所以要想让中国按美国的条件达到公平的贸易呢，肯定不是一两天能够达到的目的。但是我们从这里我们也可以看到，川普对未来中国关税的政策，他会不会有退缩？肯定不会。只要中国不达到美国的目的，美国就不会退缩。好了，我们今天的节目时间到这里，感谢大家的收看，我们下次节目再见。